Welcome back to the channel. Welcome back to Mental Health Matters with me. It is a brand new episode, and I am so pleased to have you here. Before we start, remember that I also have some podcasts available on Spotify and Apple Podcasts in case you want to join in the conversation. And we are on season 6, so please check it out. If you are that podcast kind of person and you just want to sit back and listen up. Thank you so much. So let's begin with today's episode. Today, I will be talking about the 5 things I do to improve my mental health every single day. And, it's not that difficult. Am I going to say that it's easy? I don't know. We all have different ways in which we manage our mental health. We all have different approaches. But what I can say is that it is definitely cost free. It will cost you zero money, and it will really help you a lot, to a point where if you have to go to therapy, if you have to consult a mental health practitioner or a coach or go for counseling, you know your story. You know what you know your story, and you know exactly what is it that you need because of the work that you've already put in and the self-awareness behind it. And also, I always make this example with the body. When you have a headache, it's so easy for you to be like, let me drink water, let me take a nap, let me take a painkiller, etc. Because you feel that discomfort coming from your body, from your head, and you always want to do something about it, and act, especially if you can't take the pain and discomfort any longer. So why is it that we can't do the same with our mental health? Why is it that we can't do that? It's because we lack the self-awareness. And that's it. It's not that we lack the resources, we lack the self-awareness. So this is what I wanted to touch on. Good example is also being hungry. Whenever we feel hungry, people have different reactions. Some people might be very cranky, like you're moody, you are just not cooperating, you're just not there, like you're just out. Your mood completely changes and so on. Some people are more aggressive because you just want to eat something. You are low in energy, your energy is running out, and in order for you to try and save your energy, you might act in a very aggressive way. You might speak loudly, all of a sudden you have this excess energy. Some people, their energy levels will drop completely. You feel sleepy, you feel tired, etc. So what does that tell us? This tells us that your mind, your body, your emotions are constantly communicating. It's always like a cycle of communication that happens between those 3 aspects. You cannot separate them, unfortunately. So if you feel a certain type of way, and sometimes you tend not to attend to that feeling and that discomfort, your body will definitely alert you, right? And there will be certain thoughts as well associated to how you feel and so on. So it's all connected. I think that's the first thing that I wanted to talk about. So let's get into the 5 things I do every day to improve my mental health. So number 1, I reflect. And reflection is not, it doesn't have to be a hard task like homework, a project that you have to do for 30 minutes, for an hour before. You don't have to do that. You absolutely do not have to do it. You can reflect at 7 a.m., 8 a.m., 9 a.m., whatever. You can reflect for a minute, 1 minute, straight up, 60 seconds. It doesn't have to be so rigid and so concrete as some people like to make it to be. And well, for me, every single day before the end of my day, that could be before I sleep, that could be during dinner, that could be in the evening when I am done with work. I reflect about the day, And the simplest question that you can ask yourself is, how was my day? That's the simple question. That's the simplest way to start. How was my day? And then I get into how I felt. What happened? What were the major points during my day? If I say I had a bad day, what does that really mean? What happened? And how can I, you know, make things better? Is it something that I have complete control over? Because there are some things that you cannot control and they will affect your day, they will affect your mood. But that's why you need to reflect, because you need to know if there's something that you are able to control moving on into the next day, or this is something that you're not able to control and you need to apply acceptance and keep it popping. So I always reflect, what conversations did I have? I'm a very observational person. I observe people. I read people. I read myself too by reflecting. I don't just read people and their hidden motives and so on. But I also do the same with myself, because it's really important. You absolutely cannot do that to somebody else if you cannot do it um, towards yourself anyway. So I go deeper. What are the things that worked for me? How's I feeling? Like, was it a good day? Was I productive? Is there something that I feel bad about? Is there something terrible? Is there something good? Is there something awesome? There's something that I really look forward to doing the next day? It can be just about anything. It can be that uh for lunch you had something good and you really liked it, and you're just like, okay, this is my to go meal, this is my favorite new thing. Anything, it can be any music, whatever. So number one, I reflect. Let's move into number two. Number two, is really very crucial, especially if you are a reflective person, especially if you love to observe yourself and observe people and behavior and so on. If you're just an observant and curious person, number two is also really good. So for number two, I always filter the information that I come across. So what does that mean? Okay. What it means is that I'm very aware of everybody, everything, every piece of information that I follow on social media, the music that I listen to, the podcast that I listen to, the conversations that I have. I do not want to get into low vibrational, energy draining, vampiric energy conversation. So what that just simply means is that I don't want to allow myself to be in spaces or come across information that is negative, that is draining, and that is going to affect me. Why? Because I realize that, hey, you're a sensitive person compared to the normal person. So if I see something like really, really bad in the news, or, something that is just making me feel scared, yo, what if it happens to me? What if it happens to where I live? What if this and that? I'm not going to sleep at night. I'll be constantly thinking, and even worse, I am going to do more research. I'm going to try to find videos and clips and this and that to find out as to what is this all about, what's happening. So I have to. And sometimes I do fall into the trap, of course. I do fall into that trap of just interacting with information that negatively impacts me. I can't sleep at night. I'm constantly thinking about it. I want to tell people about it. And over time, I've learned to filter the information. I'm very conscious of what is it that I listen to, what is it that I'm saying, what information am I entertaining, and how is it making me feel? That's it. Everything that I'm about to share here goes back to how are you feeling? Do you feel good? Do you feel, what's going on? What's just going on with you? Do you feel grossed out? Like, this is so disgusting. What, like, everything just goes back to that. So I'm very, very aware. And I used to do like a social media cleanse. So I just go through all the people that I'm following, all the topics and whatever, and just see what is this, what's something that's just not working for you here. Hmm? There's nothing that you're gaining here. It's just, you know, let me unfollow or let me unsubscribe from this. Peace of mind. And it is really fun also. I really think it's fun to do that because you are getting to know yourself a bit more. To say, oh, 5 years ago, I was into makeup tutorials. Like, I had like 20 channels about doing your brows or doing this and that. And now, okay, I'm kind of cool. I'm going to scale it down to a 5 right now. Or I'm no longer interested in that. I am cooking a lot, so let me get into cooking channels. But it's just, imagine just going into a store or going somewhere and you have an unlimited amount of money and you just get to choose, and you just get to choose what you want. You get to leave whatever it is that you don't want. So I always do that. um and I know that there are some people that don't listen to the news or watch the news, which is the best thing. If you know that this is a waste of my time, this is going to throw me off balance, it's going to ruin my week, I'm no longer listening or entertaining the news. So if you are the kind of person who always wants to stay updated, filter through what is it that works for me, what is it that doesn't work for me. Or if you like the news, for example, and you want to have a run through and go through the current news, go start with the news that are not so great, maybe tragic things, tragic events, and so on, and then move into light-hearted news. Have a balance in your approach. Same thing with social media. Have a balance. If you like dark topics and dark things, I mean, we are not here to judge people, really. People have their own preferences, as they should. Have a balance. The point here is not to affect your mental health to a point where you're just not coping because of the content that you're taking in. So that is number 2. Number 3, all right? Number 3 is knowing your tribe, knowing who's for what in my life, and this, and who can I share with this, who, and so on. Know your tribe, know their roles, know your role. Very important. Unfortunately, I had to learn the hard way that you cannot tell people everything. And you cannot tell everybody everything. I think that's what I'm trying to say. You cannot tell everyone everything. You cannot spend the same amount of time with everyone. You cannot share the same experiences with everyone. It doesn't work, because at the end of the day, the things that will happen, it's either you are going to feel extremely drained, or it can lead to altercations, it can lead to a lot of things. And as a person who has a lot of trust issues, I hope that one day or very soon I'll be able to tap into why I have a lot of trust issues and I don't trust very easily. And I'm constantly keeping tabs as to how I move and stuff. But overall, I think that I'm a very naturally, and I think I said this in the previous video about low self-esteem and stuff. Naturally, I was born a very upbeat, maybe not upbeat, but I can blend in with anybody. I can talk to anyone from anywhere, and we can just have a conversation. We don't have to be friends. We don't have to have a special bond, whatever, similarities. But I just have the ability to just talk to anybody, and have conversations with anyone. It can just be anyone. Um, so, being that kind of person, you become open, especially if you're a kid. You become very open. You you are not so closed off and so on, and moving into young adulthood and stuff. But you are quick to realize that it doesn't work for everybody. So going back to number three, I know, I'm very aware of the people that are in my life, and certain people that I talk to about specific things that are major and personal, decisions that I want to take. And if I'm not sure about something, where I can consult, where I can have a conversation and get um, another perspective. Sometimes in life, you have to get another perspective, especially from the people that you love and the people that you trust. So I'm very aware of that, and I utilize that every day. It doesn't have to be every day, but if there's a pressing issue, or a problem or a dilemma that I'm finding very difficult, I do share with a significant person and so on. So this helps also regulate my mental health, because this is what happens sometimes, not all the time, but sometimes when we don't really have that one person or people, I don't know, that we can interact with about our thoughts and something. You overthink things, you constantly have the same thoughts, you constantly just have the same thoughts. And sometimes this is a problem and you need a solution. Now, if you have the same problem going round and round and round in your mind, how do I fix this? How do I fix this? How do I fix this? It becomes anxiety, it becomes a form of stress. You start worrying. Remember, stress and worry go together. You start worrying, how do I fix this? How do I fix this? I need to do something. I don't know what to do. It goes on and on and on. And then you start feeling anxious, a little bit of fear. What am I going to do? And then it can lead to things like depression. It can lead to actual mental illnesses, sometimes when we are not vocal. This is why counseling is encouraged. Coaching is encouraged, because there are some people that find themselves in very difficult situations and they cannot be able to articulate, or there isn't anybody that you can really trust in that moment. And I have been in those situations where um, I felt like, okay, you know what? The best thing that I need to do right now is seek professional help and hear someone else's opinion, a person who doesn't know me, who is not associated with me in anyhow. And I'm able to clear my mind, because what they will do is not try to solve my problem. There is no therapist or coach or counselor that will solve your problem, number one. But what they will try to do is they will reflect back that problem, that question. And this gives me the chance to find a solution, or to figure out how I can go about this thing, because now someone else is reflecting it in a way that I can now see that, ooh, okay, it's not good that I have been worrying about this situation, and I'm actually worrying about it, but I'm not doing something about it. So maybe this is what I can do to change this and do that and so on. And then you are able to move forward. So that is another important point that I wanted to raise. And I think we are on number three. Sometimes my memory is so bad, especially if I'm talking and I'm thinking at the same time. So that is number three. Let's move into number four. Okay, so for number four, what I usually do is I am going to allow myself to have an experience that I think feel good, or an experience that is going to benefit my mental health system, that is going to make me feel healthier, that is going to make me feel well and balanced. And this is where your body comes into place. So if you are a spa girl or guy, or if you like hiking, if you like certain types of activities, if you are a gym person, if you like chilling at this place with whoever, like all those experiences that contribute to your mental health, that make you feel like, wow, that's definitely a good experience. I feel good. I want to have that experience again. This is the part where you can implement that. So for me, it changes all the time. For me, I think it changes all the time. If there is a good gig, concert, um, I don't know, it can be anything, some empowerment program, anything that I like, really, that is there, that is out there. If some brands are promoting something and they have an event or whatever, I want to go to those things because they make me feel so good. There are many people being empowered in those instances. There are so many things, so many examples. I know that True Love magazine has a lot of those events. It can be anything. I'm just making an example out of my own choice. Maybe True Love magazine is hosting this and that, and you have all these wonderful people. You have people that you can get to know people, you socialize. Maybe it's like a foodie type of vibe, a fashion type of thing. That's where I'm at. And I just have a wholesome experience. You take something from that, you learn something from that. And let's say it's just simply going to the gallery because I love art. Going to the gallery, there's this new artist, boom, I just want to get into the artwork, get into the art, feel it, go. That's my thing, that's my go to. So this depends. For some people, they want to be able to do something like that, have that kind of experience every week. But for some people, it's like twice a month. I don't know. For some people, that could be once a month. But on a daily, if I had to, scale it down to a daily basis, do something that makes you feel good. Do something that makes you feel good. If you are cooking at home and you have to cook, you are the one who cooks at home, or you cook for yourself or whatever, whip up something that is completely different, something that you've never done before. If you make rice this way, make it in a different way. Try something, go online, try a different recipe, try fried rice, whatever. Like, be creative, be creative. Sometimes having the same routine, the same thing every day is stagnating, and it can make you feel so bad. It can make you feel unhealthy. It can make you feel tired. So switch things up. How you do your hair in the morning. Maybe you don't need to go out there and be with people and be around people. But how you do your hair in the morning, switch it up. Make something else. Do something else different. That's completely different. Try it out for the day and see. Were you comfortable with it? Were you uncomfortable? Did people say this, that? And it doesn't matter, right, what people have to say, but how did you feel in that new hairstyle, in that having that new experience? If you are the kind of person who is constantly following a series, and you have that extra 30 minutes, and there's a series that people are talking about, or I don't know, a documentary that people are talking about, and you're just like, oh, I really want to watch it, but I don't have much time. If you have that 20 minutes, or if you can sacrifice for today and say, you know what, I'll continue this movie or this series tomorrow, but today I just want to see what happens. I just want to check it out. If it's boring, it's boring. If it's great, then I'm on it. try different things, have different experiences. There was this thing where people used to say, if you are taking a particular route to work, let's say you drive to work or something, or you share a ride or use transportation, if you take a particular route, right? Um, if you take a different route, sorry, it can really shift something in you. Like, it gives you so much perspective. It does something in you. It makes you think differently because this is a new route. And the last one, the fifth one, last not least, because I mean, there could be 10 or 20 things that you do, and I could probably be only doing two, the other person three, and so on. Last but not least, I think it's really important to set a goal for yourself. So this is the same. A goal does not have to be something so hectic. Whenever you think about it, you feel like, oh, how am I going to achieve this? What am I going to do? How am I going to get started? And so on. A goal can simply be something like today, I'm going to do half of my laundry so that on the weekend I can have more time to myself. I can just finish off the laundry and I'm good. I can do other things. I really want to make sure that I clean this area or make sure that I do this. Today I really want to go past that place and sort this out. Today, you see, sometimes, not even sometimes, most of the time, we procrastinated, we put things to the side. And then when, it's really time to do it, sometimes it just feels so stressful. You just feel like, I just want to disappear right now. Like, it just really feels like a lot. So for me, I've noticed that if I set those small goals, like clean this, fold my clothes today, and then tomorrow I'm gonna do, even if I wash 3 things or 4 things, sharp, I'm done with that. Tomorrow I'm gonna do this. By the end of the week or whenever I have my time, I just feel so good. And sometimes I feel so good that I don't really know what to do with all the time that I have in my head. Regulate your mental health and make sure that your mind is clear. There are some things in life that we cannot control, unfortunately, and there are some things that we can control. And the truth of the matter is, no matter how much you plan and do things, you don't really know what's going to happen tomorrow. But your mental health system, I think, is the most consistent thing, because if things if you are easily stressed by things not going well, you will be easily stressed by something that doesn't go well tomorrow. So it's best we work on such things, because no matter what life throws at you, you'll be able to cope a little bit better than someone who doesn't have the self-awareness and is not constantly working on their mental health. So thank you so much. I think this was a very good way to give us an outlook of how I manage my mental health. It's not easy when you're busy and you have this and you have so many things going on, but you absolutely can do it, and it will make a huge difference. It will make a huge difference. So thank you so much for tuning in. Thank you for all your likes, your comments, your subscriptions. Please continue to share and watch and get educated and learn about your own mental health. Take care of yourself, and I will see you next time.